Okay, it says I'm live, so yes, so this episode is going to be on improving 11. So just well, as you work more and more with 11, as with any other tool, you'll probably start to notice, there'll be bugs and inadequacies that sooner or later you might have an itch to repair them. So, oops, I've turned on cursor keys. This joystick will turn that off. Um, and yeah, I just wanted to just walk through, if you did have such an itch, how would you go about scratching it? Um, and maybe one place that might be worth looking is in GitHub. So if you were to visit GitHub MEGA65 11, you can have a browse through past things I've tweaked that might help. Like click on this list of commits here. You can take a look at some of the things that I've let's say I recently talked about some of these, filter F7 table with key presses, to type in a filter term. If you were curious, you could click on this and you could take a look at what was modified. It's really of these three files, this is the most human readable one, the 11 edit.bas file. And so you could look at that and check out the diff and variables that I added, the filter logic that I added to make that all happen. And yeah, it might be a starting point, for your own ideas of knowing whereabouts in the code you'd want to tweak for your own needs. Um, so I did a few more tweaks recently. I can mention those. There were a few little niggling bugs that were irritating me. Um, yeah, maybe I should demonstrate them. In the past, the home behavior, if you press the home key, which I'll do now, it used to, oh, and it's still doing that here actually because I haven't copied my fix from the other file. So I'm pushing the home key and it goes to the top line, but it doesn't go to the start of the line, which is a little bit annoying. So that was one of the fixes I added recently. Not in this current code base, but I'll copy it across. Um, and why that was annoying is I think there's another bug in 11 where if you do the right Alt F and search for something, but if you do it from a location that's not the start of a line, if you do it here, it works fine. But if you do it like here and do Alt F and let me search for the word form. Okay, found it. Now if I do Q for quit, look what happens to the line. Some garbage has happened. It's redrawn the line from the wrong location. But if I was to do a search from this point, from the start of a line, um, so Alt F, I search for form again. This time I press Q for quit and it redraws it properly because it's drawn it from the start of this line instead of from there. So yeah, little niggling bugs like that were annoying for me, and yeah, this commit was just sort of hunting things like that down. There are some issues with the find replace behavior, the little niggling things. But anyway, I won't go into detail now, except more that for this effort, there's just a little perk I'm hoping for. Like if I was to go into some sort of, actually maybe I'll go full screen. Draw baddie, what's in here? Yeah, okay, a ghost. I'd really wish we had some sort of shortcut key to go straight to, the thing you're hovering over. I don't know how easy it'll be tonight, but I'll just have a little stab at it and you can see me plodding along to try and get that sort of implementation, what file I touch. Um, so yeah, draw Petsky frame. I want some key, I don't know, Alt Z or, okay, why not Alt Z or Alt, um, I don't know, something. Alt Z, I'll do Alt Z. And yeah, let's break out of this. I'll do like run, stop, restore. We'll look at the code and there's a point where I guess I want it to do the same behavior as the F7 key. I don't know if I can find F7 mentioned here. F7, maybe it's under the term label. Find label. Is it mentioned in a comment? Hmm. There's some gossip that goes to a labels area. Maybe it's this 7430. Yeah, it looks like it. 7430. Or is it like a gossip 7430? I don't remember. 7430. Yeah, if you hit this key, then gossip 7430. Okay. hmm But I'm not. Wait up a second. I feel like. Anyway, let's see. 7430. Yeah, sorry. There's 7430. Is there anything prior to this? Oh, there is more. Yeah, there is more stuff. Filter labels based on this. 7421. Okay, so who calls 7421? Find 7421. It's called by 7500. Okay. Who's 75? Sorry, I know this is like a bit of a wild goose chase. What's happening here? Labels 7430. Collecting labels. You get that list of labels. Um, yeah, trying to remember this stuff isn't so easy. Um, I feel like I fiddled with it recently. It should be a bit memorable, but okay. So I should start at 7430. 7430 labels. And remembering what the names of variables did is tricky. I think that's the currently selected label in the list, MP. It collects labels. Oh, this line is clearing its list of labels. Just resetting them all to empty strings. I think that's MK dollar is the list of labels found. MK is the line number of that given label. FI dollar. I think that's the filtered list. Yeah, that's the filtered list. And FI is the line number of those filtered items. So they're getting cleared. MN, I think, is that the current index where we're going to write the next one we find to? And the same with the filters index that we'll write to. And maybe FZ is the actual filter that you've typed in. So, sorry, I've got a cough. So I feel like we could make use of the like this for loop here for a equals the first line 0 to the last line which they hold in NL, iterate through all the lines. T dollar equals L the current line, so T dollar holds the current line. LB, I can't recall what that is. If the left dollar of T dollar, if the left dollar of the current line has a dot at the start, or this is less than greater, it doesn't have a dot in it, then jump to 7490 to go next, so loop again. Okay, so if it does have a dot in it, then do this line in between where we say the current found label will of this index will equate to the middle of that current line. The string will find some middle point. We skip, oh no, we do include the dot here, and 38, or a maximum of 38 characters along. Okay, and then for the MK of this index, we record the line number that this for loop was going from line to line, and then we move this MN index so that next time we find another hit of a label, it'll go to the next index in this array. Okay, so when we think of the goal of, gee, how do I keep this goal in my head? Of, so we've got some go-sub term here, and we'd want to press a shortcut key. So we'd need some logic to figure out what this term we're hovering over is. And once we've got that, I suppose we could make it into the filter, and call this again, and then automatically um, select or press enter on that first item found. Yeah, maybe something like that would do the job. So we can focus more on the logic of getting this term, extracting it out of the current line. Yeah. I don't know how I'm going to fare tonight. I don't. I thought I'd be more confident this because I did this thing recently, but memory's fading. Um, so setting a key. All right, let's go. I think that's somewhere in the 2000s. Um, oops. Or actually, another point we can look at is looking at the source from within. Can I go to the exact file? View the file. So this 11 edit.bat, yeah, this is the file we're editing right now. Actually, if you take a look at the whole 11 related files on the drive, you'll see there's several there. Usually I find myself editing if I'm, need to tweak something in the editor. I'll tweak the 11.edit file. 11.parse is when it's in the compile phase. So sometimes you might find that let's say if a basic token is missing, then you can add it yourself here directly. Like if I was to load up 11.parse, oops, can't spell, and then slowly list it out. I think very early on you see there's this list of basic tokens here. I know some people, and myself included, sometimes we've experienced that, a certain basic command was missing. Yeah, usually all it takes is to add it onto the list or whatever it is, command XYZ, and then there you go, it's ready to be passed. And then, then what you do afterwards, you'd type dsave, you'd then say, put the @ sign to say you want to overwrite the previous one, 11.parse. You'd press enter. I won't do that now. And then there's a gotcha though. If you type run, it'll run the parser again, but then it'll jump back to 11. And the next time you run 11, it'll ignore it because Ubik added this little trick where a lot of the tools have been saved into attic RAM. So to speed things up, he often loads things from attic RAM instead of from the disk. So if you change it on the disk and then stick around jumping in and out of 11 a lot, you'll find that it's not running the version that you've changed, but just running the prior version that's still in attic RAM. So it's better, I find, after you do your dsave, it's probably better to just not boot, sorry, I press I do F10 or reboot your system and make sure it forces a proper reload off the drive instead of from attic RAM. So then it will run everything you wished it to run. Yeah. So as for this editor, the code here, I think early on in the 2000s there was some checking for key presses, main editor loop here. Yeah, you see there's a lot of this $, is this, then do that stuff. Yeah, this would be the place you'd add that sort of thing. Some things of interest, if I can find them. AK is a check of the Alt key. Is it down or not? That could be handy. Maybe we set this to Alt Z, so we'd be checking for if AK is 1, if it's true, or on or off. Other gotchas I found were that sometimes I would add, a new command in here. Let's say if it's pretty crowded, but let's say if I did insert, if I can't commit this straight. Well, maybe I should put it on the same line. Sorry. If $t equals z, I should make it a different line. And AK, the Alt key is on. Then do something or other, some goes up some location, which I can't. Let's do that for now. I think the gotcha was that when I'd run it, it wouldn't detect it, even though I put this line in. And I think that's because there's another line above that sort of filters out keys it's interested in and not interested in. And I'll try and find that line. So get key $T, but then they filter somewhere. Where's the next $T? Sure, there's a filter, but my eyes can't see it. Maybe if I go up a bit earlier, I remember there's this big long filter somewhere. It's earlier. This thing, CC dollar. Yeah, all the things it's accepting. Oh, well, Z is one of them. Okay. Oh, but it's a highlighted Z. Oh, control characters. Oh, okay, then that's not it. So these are permissible control characters. Maybe mine is a mismemory. So there was like an in-string thing. Maybe I'll just find in-string. Oh yeah, he checks did it find, is $T one of the things inside the control codes? And CM, I can't remember. Or is it is the Alt key down? These were like conditions to test for the other things. So in our case, it won't pass through because it's not a control key. But then again, we've got the Alt key down for this, so maybe it's permissible here. And maybe I don't even have to say AK because it'll only get to that point. Maybe we need to see it to believe it. This 2200. Sorry if this is not so coherent this time around. Yeah, there's that test CO. Are you a control key in $T? No. Or is the Alt key on? And if we got a true out of any of that, only then do we do these ifs inside here and beyond. Oops, sorry, I better keep going that way. So we've added our Z here. So I don't even need to say Alt key because, yeah, that little if clause up ahead is going to do that for us. So then we can add some logic at whatever we're going to go sub to. Maybe I'll add something towards the end of the program. So the last line is there, so maybe we put something at 1000, sorry, at 11,000 rem. And it's one of the rare occasions I find myself using basic 65 purely is through 11. So this, what was this going to be called? Browse or navigate to label under cursor. Guess that's what we're hoping for. And we'd have some sort of go sub for find term under cursor or get term under cursor maybe. Yeah, I'm so used to 11 doing the insert mode rather than overwrite. And then perhaps we'd be calling the GOSIP of, and I'm not even allowed to use such labels anymore. I have to give up on that convention too. And that convention, I have to go back to rem. So many things I have to give up on. Then we go to the GoServe to the find label thingy screen. But we'd probably put some, yeah, maybe I just put, maybe I just put these all as remarks for now. And I think maybe we'd want some sort of special flag. How do you say, what do you say, nav to label flag equals true. I'll just put that. Of course, we can't do such things in Basic 65, but just to remind me of what the goal, the intention is, would be to do something like that. So back at, where was it, around there? We've got our look for Z. So we'd like that to call 11,000 rem navigate to label under cursor, and yeah, we can then think about how we'd accomplish these things, and I might not have the brain power to do it tonight, so this can be our get term under cursor. Probably don't have to write it with the underscores anymore. And maybe I'd return it in some variable of some sort. Yeah, it's tricky to use Basic 65 again now. Well, how would we do it? I say $8 equals go sub blah. I have this memory of a variable called xc, which was like where we are in this, and I think on the x-axis. I mean, so let's say xc equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's put it at 8. And so I guess we'd be looking for this location, go to the left and see where there is a space or the start of the string, and go that way until we hit a space or the end of the string. It's a bit convoluted, but the sort of thing I wish was already ready-made and I could just use it rather than have to write it. Okay. Alright, print. Sort of thing I'd rather do in a little test program first rather than write it straight in here. But anyway, let's try and wing it. Okay, let's write it in just pseudocode. Browse to left until space or start of string, and that's okay. Start of token, a label if you like, equals browse. Yeah, and rem end of label equals browse to right until space or start of string. Okay, and once we've got those two, we can extract out string equals, mid dollar, whatever that line is, start location, and then I think this takes a length, so I guess the length might be end minus start, something along those lines. And yeah, actually I'll keep an eye on the time. If this drags on for too long, and I suspect it is, because yeah, I haven't really come prepared too terribly well this time. Does it say how long it's been running? Or when I started, I thought it would. Oh yeah, 12:18. Yeah, it's a long one. Yeah, this is going to take longer than I thought, and I don't want to bore you guys. But hopefully you see how the edit's being done. Maybe for now, I'll just save it as a dummy thing. Yeah, let's see if I get away with desave. Of course it won't do anything. Overwrite the previous one, edit, and maybe it was too ambitious a thing to change in 20 minutes. And if I reboot, I wonder if the editor will crash. Hopefully it doesn't crash. At least it didn't crash. And if I press Alt Z, it just exited out. Okay. So yeah, there's plenty more work to do there, but I think at least with the pseudocode you get a feel for what I'm hoping to do. Oh, I seem to have lost some lines. Yeah. Oops. Maybe I didn't press enter on those ones. Hey, but it's in the video, right? I can always rewatch this video and know what I just retype what I lost. Okay, I'll leave it there. Sadly, yeah, it wasn't a very good stream, this one. Yeah, I didn't prepare it terribly well. Um, okay, well, you can't win them all. All right, catch you later. Bye.